as always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, I got to start with OU softball off to a 5-0 start. Actually playing right now as we speak against Patty Gasso's alma mater, Long Beach State, but they've looked pretty good. They got a bunch of new people in the lineup. You know, the familiar faces that won four straight championships. A lot of those girls have cycled out, and we've got some portal players, some young players coming in, and they've performed pretty good so far. Got tested against San Diego State, and that wasn't unexpected. Uh, some people have San Diego State as a top 25 team. Most everyone expects them to be a postseason team. That one went to extra innings. We got a grand slam from Emmerling there in the ninth, so that was really cool. But I think you got to say softball, even though there's some questions so far, they've been off to a pretty good start.
I I was keeping up with it via the softball social media feed, which whoever runs that feed does an awesome job. And I was able to turn a couple of the games that were on Soonersports.com, hopped on, watched a couple of those. I think it's safe to say Patty Gasso has a very talented team. I think it's really cool what they're doing, though. Going out there, playing these teams at their place to help make all these programs a lot of money because people come out to watch OU.
Yep.
They do. That has been proven year after year after year now that OU softball is maybe the biggest draw in softball, period.
Period.
I'm not familiar with like the professional Japanese softball league. I don't maybe they draw huge
Yeah,
numbers
I
as
guess
well,
that's
but
true. Yeah, that could be the
but
case.
so I don't want to make an uneducated statement, but in the United States, it feels like OU softball is the biggest draw in softball. And I think it's really cool that they chose to go play these games on the road and frankly make these programs a lot of money because people are going to come watch OU. It's really cool. Patty Gasso didn't have to do that. I think that's really, really cool what they're doing.
Yeah, they usually play in those the invitationals or whatever, and
The Mary Nutter.
yeah, and but she wanted these schools to make money, and they tried to say, well, if we host at our school, we'll do it with like no admission free. And Coach S is like, no, we will not do it unless you charge for tickets. All right, we want you guys to make money off this deal, which is really cool. And have to mention, not much of a surprise at all, but maybe that's why it's not even wasn't even hardly that big of a story. But Patty Gasso's going to coach the Olympic team coming up. Awesome.
It's like the biggest no-brainer of all time, right?
I know. That's why I think maybe it just kind of slid through the cracks a little bit.
We'll we'll get we'll get Coach Gasso on here to talk about that because that's a big deal. It's a huge deal. But she's probably laser focused on getting this squad where she wants to get it to. But yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Who we're hosting the Olympics in the United States. There's only one person to coach the Olympic softball team. Let's be real, and that's Patty Gasso.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that'll be really cool whenever it happens. I know we're a ways out from that, but adding a gold medal to the accomplishments list is about the only thing left for Coach Gassel. I mean, she could win five straight national championships. Whatever, however long that goes on. I think she's got to the point now where obviously people kind of that's the expectation, but you put the gold medal in there, that makes things look really nice.
No doubt. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Lamar Jackson, MVP runner up. Josh Allen takes the MVP. Controversial for some people. What did you think of that?
I I thought this was very interesting. Lamar Jackson has more passing yards,
Yes,
more passing touchdowns,
correct.
fewer interceptions.
Yes,
a higher completion percentage,
Mm-hmm.
more rushing yards, and a higher rushing average. He is the first player in NFL history to have better statistics in all that categories than the person that won MVP. I but he's already won 2 MVPs. I think that's the biggest factor here is that he's already won 2 and Josh Allen hadn't won one. I think it's that simple for me. Josh Allen is awesome. Fantastic player. But for me, I think that's honestly the biggest factor is that, hey, Lamar's got 2 and Josh Allen doesn't have one.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. This is a regular season award. But Baltimore, and I don't know when the voting actually takes place. So maybe this is a stupid question, but I feel like the vote, I don't think the voting takes place and they wait all this time to announce it. Maybe they do, but do you think the Ravens losing to the Bills in the divisional round has anything to do with it? Had Baltimore got that win, do you think that Lamar Jackson would have won the MVP, even though it's not supposed to factor in?
Are the votes already in? That's a great question.
I don't know.
Like the NBA MVP is a regular season award. The playoffs do not matter. I've always thought that was the same for the NFL. Am I wrong?
Well,
like when the votes are counted, like when the votes have to be in.
That's the only thing. I guess I'm saying is, if they don't vote, then what happened in the playoffs may influence people, even though it's a regular season award. I don't know, but it's close. I guess the other thing is some people view the MVP differently. Some people view it as who's the best player in the league. Other people view it as who's the most valuable to their team. And I mean, the argument can be made that, Baltimore, what they end up with like 9 Pro Bowlers, and what did Buffalo only have 1 other than Josh Allen? I mean, that's a factor. Like maybe I guess defining what you think of the MVP could be a problem too. It's also not as far off. So Lamar Jackson, 45 total touchdowns, but he had 12 turnovers, or excuse me, 8 turnovers. Lost 4 fumbles, 4 interceptions. Josh Allen, 40 total touchdowns, but he had fewer total turnovers. He only had 6 turnovers. He didn't lose any fumbles. 12 rushing touchdowns. So that puts him at 40 total to Lamar Jackson's 45 total. But, if you ask me who's the better player, who would you want on your team? I'm taking Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry.
I think both are. I think the conversation around both are very similar. Everyone acknowledges that Lamar Jackson is excellent. Everyone acknowledges that Josh Allen is excellent. Everyone also acknowledges that both of those guys have a Patrick Mahomes problem.
Yeah.
That's just where they're at, man. And until they break through, they're going to be viewed on that level below. Until someone can knock the Chiefs off. And so I view both of those guys very similarly. I think they are incredibly talented. And they're must-see TV at the quarterback position for me. Like what those guys could do physically is just, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I kind of view them both at the same level. It's just like, oh, those are the guys that are incredible, but can't beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it almost sounds like there's a chance we're all having the wrong debate here. It's Patrick Mahomes until someone can beat him, right?
And I know that's not how football works. Like these quarterbacks aren't playing against each other. Like that's not how the sport works, but that's that's how the quarterback position is viewed. And I do think, as far as Josh Allen winning it over Lamar, I do think the biggest factor is Lamar's got two. Josh Allen didn't have one. And if you go look at Josh Allen's supporting cast, Lamar Jackson's got some better playmakers around him
For
than
sure.
Josh Allen did. Remember, Shakir was essentially their number one wide receiver.
On both sides of the ball, too.
Yeah. I mean, Baltimore's got they got a really good roster.
Yep.
Both guys are excellent. I enjoyed the debate. I love that some people voted Allen for MVP, but had Lamar Jackson on their first team All Pro ballot, which is okay, sure.
Right.
But
Well, see, that gets back to I the best player or the most valuable to their team. And that's why the definition is kind of weird. And I guess I can understand someone doing that, but I don't think I would. If I'm picking, I would have had Lamar Jackson as the MVP and as all pro quarterback, personally.
I I think that's a very fair position to have. He was incredible this season.
So much so that I thought they were going to just cruise and win the Super Bowl the way that they were playing. I mean, they look like the best team to me by far for a pretty decent chunk of the season.
Well, we're recording this part before the Super Bowl is played, so we really can't comment on the Chiefs. There's a Chiefs thing to be said right here, but
Right.
that game has not happened yet. We're doing things a little out of order here, but it is we'll see. Both guys, Chiefs problem.
Chiefs problem. That's right.
You think of the alternate universe for these two guys if Patrick Mahomes just didn't exist.
It's hard to think, like, not just for these two guys, like the whole league. The whole league would have had a totally different, because they've won four of the last six, right? They've been to five.
This is the fifth Super Bowl for Mahomes.
The only one they didn't go to was when the Bengals went, right?
The one that I was in the stands for. Awesome. Great.
Well,
All right, let's get to my winner and loser of the weekend. But first,
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It lets you see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money's going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. You get alerts if bills increase in price, if there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate to lower your bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with the customer service so you don't have to. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/game on today. That's rocketmoney.com/game on. rocketmoney.com/game on.
and Lucy Breakers are 100% pure nicotine pouches with an extra burst of flavor, and you can get them delivered right to your front door. Go to lucy.co and use promo code breakdown at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's lucy.co and use promo code breakdown. My go-to Lucy Breakers, 4 milligrams in mint. I'm not as hardcore as Ted. Ted's an 8 milligram espresso guy. I'm not as cool as him, okay? I'm fine with that. But Lucy Breakers come in a variety of flavors, including classics like my favorite mint, but they've also got berry citrus, espresso, and mango. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co and use promo code breakdown for 20% off your first order. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. My winner of the weekend, OU, we needed some positivity. Thank you, Austin Reaves. How that was so much fun to watch. And there was a lot of chatter around this game because ESPN had moved all kinds of stuff around they thought they were televising Luka's first game as a Laker. Well, Luka didn't play. And then as a result of that, LeBron didn't play. And so they had moved like the Duke Clemson start time because of this, all these moving parts, and people were going, ESPN did this all for nothing. They moved all of this stuff for a Luka-less and LeBron-less Lakers game. But Austin Reaves gave us a damn show, man. 45 points.
He's been great since he got in the league, really. And I don't think I'm the only one, but he was great at Oklahoma. He could hit some incredible shots, and you felt like, he's going to go to the NBA and he can have a career there. In no way, and maybe this just shows that I don't know anything about basketball, but in no way did I think that he was going to be the player that he is.
I don't think many people, if any, outside of the Reeves family, maybe, saw him becoming the creator that he is. That's the thing. Like, he's not a standstill shooter.
Right.
He's not a catch and shoot. Oh, he's firing, 8 threes a game guy. No, he's playing point guard for them and has become a really, really good pick and roll ball handler. And this wasn't 45 points of, he just hit 7 threes. He got to the rim, finished at the rim, hit tough pull up jump shots, hit threes, like had a couple dunks. Like, he did everything, man. Like, he is, if those two guys are out, like the Lakers have their playmaker, and it's Austin Reaves.
It's crazy.
45 points on 26 shots. Got
It's
to the
not,
free throw line, hit all his free throws, like 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Like, the guy was absolutely balling and doing it with the headband on, which somehow he makes it work. It looks so goofy, but when you score 45, it doesn't feel goofy.
Yeah. He's fun to watch. Like you said, he's a great playmaker. He could shoot off the dribble, catch and shoot. He's fun to watch. Again, it's awesome because I never expected it. I don't know. It's pretty wild that he's gone and be able to become. I mean, he's a household name. Austin Reaves is a household name.
He also he I don't cheer for the Lakers. I will never cheer for the Lakers. But I'm cheering for Austin Reaves, and the way that he balled out on Saturday, it made me feel a little bit better about the OU basketball situation. I don't know why, but it took a little of the disappointment away just watching that guy go crazy like that. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. We need someone to go crazy for OU now, though. But you're right. Hmm, he's what do they call him? Hillbilly
Hillbilly Kobe.
Hillbilly Kobe.
Dude, he is averaging 19 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds this year.
It's close to Morant's numbers.
Like, he is balling, man.
Yep.
Now, you had the Lakers, do you see that trade for Mark Williams from Charlotte got rescinded?
Yeah. It
That doesn't
leaves
happen
them
very often.
no, and doesn't that leave them in a pretty bad spot because they expecting I mean, obviously they were expecting that to go through, but they've got some holes to fill. And that was supposed to be one of them.
They, I mean, the trade deadline is
Gone.
passed.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know with the new CBA and the aprons and all that stuff. Like, I'm not quite sure how the buyout market works now and what you can and can't do from that standpoint. But they've got Jackson Hayes at center, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mark Williams was supposed to be, another piece for them. It's kind of supposed to fill that void left when Anthony Davis got traded. But how awkward is that for Dalton Connect? Like, hey,
Yeah.
man, we traded you. It ended up not working because this guy failed his physical. Welcome back. No hard feelings. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be incredibly awkward.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy. It's nuts though. I mean, the Lakers have gone from not very long ago being like a team that had crazy size to where now it may be a problem for them matchup wise as they move forward. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see how it all works though once they get up and rolling and they've had a little bit of time together.
My loser of the weekend, or one last thing on the Lakers. I refuse to allow the Lakers to become likable, and I feel like somehow, some way, they're starting to become likable, and I don't like it.
How? But okay, I
Once we see
understand.
Luca and LeBron on the court, and the amount of complaining that's going to take place, they'll become things will things will get back to normal. Okay,
I
they'll be
think
very unlikable.
I think as everyone has focused their hate on the Mavericks, that somehow yes, the Lakers. I don't know that I go to the all the way to likable, but in the mess, we've forgotten that we hate them, and now they have the two most hateable players together, and they don't cancel each other out. It doesn't work that way.
We just need Luca to get back on the court
Yes.
and really whine, and then it'll be because right now people are like on Luka Doncic's side.
Yeah.
Like him getting done dirty by the Mavericks has made him this sympathetic figure. It was only a week ago we all hated the guy. And now it's like, oh man, I can't believe they did him that way. That's messed up. We just need him to get back on the court and do all the whining, and then we can go back to not liking him.
They're rolling right now, though. They've won 9 out of their last 10. Um, what do we play? Does the Thunder play them anytime coming up soon?
I've not looked that far ahead on the schedule. I hope I hope so. Let's look. I don't see a Lakers logo. This is great podcasting right here.
Not until April 6th and 8th, back to back.
How about that? Well, at
Interesting.
that point, Thunder may be resting guys for the playoffs at that point.
Yeah.
With the lead that the squad is building in the Western Conference, that may be some rest time for some of the starters. My loser of the weekend, Dallas Mavericks. Just a roller coaster of emotions for them this weekend. Fans, players, coaches, everyone still processing the Luca trade. You had, I get, do you call it a protest? What was that out in front of their arena? What was that? Protest, right? They
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
picketing. What was going on?
Picketing, protesting.
There were signs, there were T-shirts. People are very angry at Nico Harrison. I get it, but then the game started, and Anthony Davis looked incredible. I mean, he was dominant. In 31 minutes, 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks. He was throwing lobs. He was catching lobs. He was hitting threes. He was hitting turnaround jumpers. He was hitting fadeaways. He was finishing at the rim. He was putting on a show. He was everywhere, Ted. And then what happened? Just, I don't know what, like, he just grabs at his nether region, falls to the ground, goes to the locker room, never comes back. You talk about the experience for a Mavs fan, like, oh, why did we trade Luca? Oh my gosh, Anthony Davis is so amazing. This is the best trade ever. We're going to be unstoppable. Oh, he's hurt. And I love how he said after it's no big, it's nothing serious. I'm fine. How are we supposed to believe that, Anthony Davis?
I don't know. No big deal for him is, you know, miss 10 games or something. I don't know. The guy misses so much basketball. It's crazy. But I mean, welcome to Anthony Davis. This is the life with him on your roster. He's going to look great, and then he's going to miss extended time. Then he's going to look great, then he's going to miss extended time.
That it was some type of tightness, some type of spasm there in the groin slash quad area. Nothing
He's
serious. You sure, big fella?
he
Like,
is
you sure?
either he's either lying or he's the softest person in the world that it's like tightness and he collapses to the ground in agony and in pain. Like that's not what tightness means. You know? Tightness is after a timeout, you come over to the bench. It's like, last couple times up and down the court hasn't felt real good. You don't collapse into a heap in the paint in the fetal position over tightness.
To the Mavs' credit, he goes out. They finish the job in the fourth quarter.
Let me ask you, because I've seen a lot of this conversation floating around that the Mavs think that this lineup is better suited to beat like Oklahoma City.
I I just don't see how you can think your team got better by getting rid of Luka Doncic. I know he's been banged up. I get it, but now I will say they looked enormous with Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford on the floor together.
Yeah.
But now that we have Hartenstein, that big lineup does not scare me the way it did a season ago. Like Chet and Hartenstein match up just fine with those two dudes.
Yeah.
So I am once again, there's I just I'm continuing to work through the process of realizing that we absolutely probably should win an NBA title this year. I'm getting there. I'm working through it. But it is like Dallas without Luka does not scare me. Is it going to be an easy series? No, absolutely not. But one thing that I haven't heard really anyone talk about is, well, now that Luka's gone, Dort just gets to guard Kyrie. Have fun with that, Kyrie.
Yeah. That is. Yeah.
And
That
if
changed.
and if Dort struggles with that, then hey, you throw Case and Wallace at him, and then you throw Caruso at him. It's like the one thing. I swear, PJ Washington. I hope we get that series. I don't think it's going to have the same juice it would have if because Luca was just so fun to sports hate. I mean, my goodness. But
I mean, doesn't it work out though? I mean, don't the sports gods give us Lakers Dallas matchup somehow?
it's the only thing that would feel right, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis just looked incredible and then
Look.
collapsed. We'll see. We'll see if it's nothing serious. We'll see what it looks like moving forward for him. But yeah, the NBA, I cannot believe the NBA has created so much buzz during Super Bowl week.
Yeah. It's true.
Like I feel like this is the most I've thought about the NBA this time of the year in a very long time.
Yeah. That's a good point. Um,
Also very dialed in because of how good the Thunder are. So it's all connected, Ted.
we're locked in right now. We're locked in.